Taken from the article on the Yu-Gi-Oh website from the 18th of May, thoughts on the March 1st, 2012 Forbidden Unlimited list. One of the points goes on to state that the reason why the FNL list exists is to, and I quote, to keep it so there are choices for what deck you play. Avoid having one dominant deck.
Walk out the door, you see someone that you know and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Your turn, Yu-Gi boy. So the World Championships in Europe has just concluded with Marcello winning, going 17-0, which is, let's not take anything away from that, that is a pretty big feat. And it's pretty impressive because it's never been done before. But one thing I want to talk about is the Zodiac deck that was in this format and this tournament. And if we go to the top 64/top 65, because if you add up all the numbers that they give here, Zodiac took 43 spots out of 64/65. So that's either 42 or 43, depending on how you work it out. If you go to the top 8, every single deck in the top 8 is Zodiac. Am I the only one that sees a problem here? The previous Forbidden Unlimited list addressed Zodiacs in the fact that they took Norden away. Was anyone convinced that Norden would actually slow that deck down at any point? The whole fusion substitute combo wasn't the reason that deck was good. It's because Zodiacs are broken. And before that as well, Ratpier was hit to 2. And I remember saying, and I'm pretty sure I did a video on this. This was back in March or January or sorry, February or March, something like that. I can't remember. I'm pretty distinctly remember saying that Ratpier to 2 does nothing to the deck. Lo and behold, nothing has happened. The deck is just, it's just ridiculous. I don't see how anyone in the Konami staff can look at the World Championship qualifiers and look at that top 8 and even the top 64 and go, yeah, this is a fine format. The Zodiacs don't need to be hit at all anymore. Can we not just get rid of them? Like, there's going to be, I'm pretty goddamn sure, I've almost convinced myself, there's going to be a Forbidden Unlimited list before Links actually come in, which is next month, I think the deck is released. And the reason why is because Gofu is still unlimited in the TCG, whereas it's not in the OCG. It got instantly hit before Links came out. I'm pretty sure Konami in Europe realised that Gofu single-handedly breaks that mechanic wide open. And if we actually have it, even if it's a, oh, you know, you can have it just for a little bit to experiment with it. No, don't do that. Like, it's not like it's an archetype that we want to play with that is going to get hit, you know. For example, like Gus Kraken got destroyed before he could properly play Gishkis back in the day of, what, Hidden Arsenal 5, I think it was. Gofu adds nothing to the format apart from breaking the mechanic. So I don't see any reason why Gofu should be around. But Zodiacs need to be hit. And you can say, well, Ratpier can go to non, or Dryden can go to non. Well, Broad Bull is a very big problem in that deck as well. And I just think that the fact that they got, what was it, the Ramrod or whatever, I can't remember what, I haven't been playing the game very long, trust me. The Ram card that basically when it's popped to bring something back, that just kind of filled in for Norden. And really you just don't notice that Norden's missing, because that deck is just still so powerful. I don't remember the last time, I don't even think actually, in a premier event like this, like World Championship qualifier, I don't remember a time where top 8 was dominated by a single deck. I don't remember it in the dad formats, I don't remember it in the perfect dad, I don't remember it in the Dragon Ruler format, I don't remember anything like that. Now, someone might call me out on that, and fair play, but someone show me a top 64 where 42/43 of the decks is one deck. Someone show me that, please. Because the rest are True Draco, 9 of them, True Draco Zodiac, Zodiac Kaiju, and then the 2 stragglers are Invoked Wind Witch and Pendulum Magician. And that's the thing as well, it's not even 42/43, that's just pure Zodiac. Then you have the decks that use the Ratpiers and just Zodiacs in general as an engine. Now, Konami notoriously hate engines, let's face it. They hate any form of cookie-cutter decks because, you know, that's just how they run things. That's historically, they've hated a lot of stuff like that. But I just think that Zodiacs are a problem, and they're just not being hit because they're driving so many sales for these decks. It's just mind-boggling that We've had two Forbidden Unlimited lists, and they are still the most predominant deck by a country mile. It's not even close. The new Pendulum stuff came out, the Pendulum Magician stuff came out. Really good deck. We saw in the live streams that it is a pretty decent deck. Didn't stand a chance against Zodiac. Is that not saying anything to anyone? And let me just address something about the previous Forbidden Unlimited list. Lawn Mowing went to 1, because lawn mowing was apparently such a big problem that 60 card decks were so much of a big problem for the meta, had to be hit. Didn't want to look at things like Fairy Tale Snow that actually made those decks ridiculous because you just mill loads of stuff and summon it for free. Don't want to look at that. No. Fairy Tale Snow's fine. Multiple arguments there. Won't get into that. My point is, 60 card decks were a decent counter to Zoo. And now let's face it, I personally think there should be no format that has one clear deck, and that is it. I hate those formats. I love varied formats. And you might say, well, you know, the best formats are the most skillful formats where you have loads and loads of mirror matches. Fine. I will agree with one point of one of the most skillful mirror matches I've ever seen is Dragon Rulers. That mirror match is just brokenly awesome and fun to watch. It's all about managing the resources and it's all about that. And if someone says to me Spellbox is a better mirror match, I'm going to kill you because each turn lasts 20 minutes. And I ain't about that. It's just painful to see Zodiac still around. It just made the live stream so boring. And I'm sorry to Luke, Matt and Rob. Those guys, as always, will put on a show regardless of what happens. But it's just painful to watch the same stuff over and over and over a 2-day event. Now, I know they tried to get some different things out, you know, because they're obviously not going to have every round as a mirror match for Zoo, because that would be suicide. But every other deck was Zoo, and every deck in the live stream, I think, at some point was Zoo, depending on if it was going against something different. And it's just painful. It needs to be addressed. It honestly needs to be addressed before Links, or it needs to be addressed soon after, because it's just going to ruin everything. I think Links in the TCG needs to have a very stable release. They need to have a very controlled release because there's already a lot of backlash against them. I know it's a new mechanic and I'm one of those people who don't like it, but they need to have a very controlled environment and make sure it doesn't spiral out of control very quickly. This is why I say Gofu needs to be hit, because let's face it, it blows the mechanic out of the water. It's a one card, oh, I can go into pretty much anything now. That's not how Links should really work in my eyes. Overall, Zodiac needs to be hit, and you might say this is me just being really salty, but this event kind of proves that Zodiac needs to be hit. And the World, the North American Championship qualifiers is coming up in 2 weeks as I'm doing this. Gonna see the same thing. I'm just saying, it's gonna happen again, and it's gonna be really boring, and I'm not saying that they have to hit Zodiac before that event, because honestly, it's probably not a wise thing, unless Monday morning, tomorrow, I'm recording this on Sunday, as I said, unless they say on Monday morning, Zodiac are hit, they are blown out of the water, that's the only time they can do it, because it still gives 2 weeks of notice, and people can't really complain all that much, because 2 weeks is still a fair amount, because we've had lists changed a week before, and we've had to deal with it then. So 2 weeks is fine, but I think just for clarity's sake, just leave the North American Championship to Zoo, let them run rampant. We may even probably see a bit more Pendulum Magician, because I know the Americans prefer Pendulum Magicians, they quite like that deck, but I just think it's bad, and I don't think it's gonna go very well. So I think after that event hits, we need a new list, and we need to address things like Gofu and just other crap that is going to break Links, because can't really have that. Don't really want a mechanic that's broken from day one, because that's what's going to happen.